Radiant team ban.
What's up, guys, and
Dota
welcome
team
back to the
ban.
NXTGame Invitational, where First Departure are going up against RRQ. Well, it seems like RRQ forgot their team tag. Sad times for them, either way.
Radiant team
It is going to be
ban.
Game 2, as First Departure did take Game 1 after a kind of shaky performance, but they did end up getting the jump on RRQ one too many times by the end of it, and RQ's lack of CC really hurt them in the end. We'll see if First Departure can 2-0 or if it's going to go to a Game 3. I'm Mikelorus, going to be joined by Danelie for this second game. Looks like this is going to start a little bit more regular than last game, perhaps, as First Departure got Clockwork first.
Yeah, no notable bans this time. So Clockwork, pretty standard hero. He's very fun. He's a very solid offlane as well. So it's going to give you a lot of initiation potential, and it also allows you to really open up your draft. So you have a lot of options really to put certain heroes with the Clockwork. So I like how First Departure is opening everything. Just keep it open, and then just build that draft on depending on how it goes. If you see something that you think will fit, then just chuck it in. Earthshaker will be the first pickup though for RRQ. So we've seen a lot of first pick Earthshakers, but he is a very nice support. You don't really want to leave him out there. What do they want to go for as their second pickup? Would you think that RRQ would pick up their second support, or do you think they might want to pick up one of their cores at this point?
It's probably going to be an SF, maybe. Okay, Winter Wyvern, second support, so never mind. I thought the combo Shaker plus strong mid laner who does a lot of burst damage if he gets set up would be something that they don't really want to pass up on, but Winter Wyvern is going to be a pick and set, and again an Ancient Apparition for FD. Well, Clockwork does have a lot of effective range, so it's going to be an interesting way to see how this draft progresses for RRQ. They at least have a Shaker now, so they have a lot of stuns. Winter Wyvern has a secondary stun as well, so if First Departure want to go for this super mobile strategy with your IOs and your Storm Spirits and your Spirit Breakers, for RRQ they will have slightly more in the way of canceling those escapes. So it is going to be slightly better for them, but I'm interested to see what First Departure can do again with this Ancient Apparition. We saw last time the Ancient Apparition in a dual lane that didn't really do that great. Maybe this time they're going to try to take things a little bit more aggressive and really get some value out of this Chilling Touch.
I feel that during the second phase, they're going to have to put a lot of emphasis onto Miracle heroes. I don't think they should let Miracle play any of his comfort heroes. You saw last game how he played that Morphling, and if RRQ lets that Morphling through, maybe even the Naga Siren as well, it's going to be a very difficult game for RRQ. If the First Departure actually decides to pick up a Naga Siren right now, their two supports don't really have the best tools in clearing Naga illusions. Winter Wyvern, yes, she has a Splinter Blast, so she would be in an okay spot, but Earthshaker, he's melee. He can throw a Fissure, and that's pretty much about it for any sort of wave clear.
Yeah, and their amount of pressure they could apply towards a Siren is kind of limited, like Earthshaker and Winter Wyvern, though eventually they do a lot in the mid-late game if they get an adequate amount of farm, Glimmer Capes, Force Stabs, Blink Daggers, and whatnot. Then they'll be really good, but early on, they aren't really super aggressive heroes. They will occasionally find themselves with opportunities to get a Fissure block and then just with vast numbers get the kills, but those opportunities are few and far between. So, though I'm never really a fan of Naga Siren because it's always really kind of boring to me, but it is seeming like combining RRQ's lack of response in the Siren and their supports, like there's no Lion that they really want to go for right now, or at least I guess they can, but they really don't want to. And the fact that Miracle is just so comfortable with that, sure, you might as well just go ahead and grab it. PL is a kind of similar hero to that Siren that RRQ are going to ban out.
PL would have been much more interesting than Naga Siren, but I'm very surprised that RRQ, they really do not know what they want to ban up against First Departure. Are they going to let some Miracle heroes through, or are they just going to try and ban something else and hope that they can actually fight off the Naga Siren or that Morphling? We don't even know which one they're going to pick up. For all we know, First Departure might even ignore both of those heroes and go for something completely different. But interestingly enough, RRQ is going to go into their reserve time for their bans, down to about 47 seconds left. What are they going to get rid of?
Oh man, it's like, how much respect do you actually pay towards Miracle? Like, yeah, his last game performance was good, but if you pay too much respect to the hero, if you're so scared that you ban out a Siren, which is potentially threatening but not going to be the best hero for First Departure to pick up, then you might find yourself in an awkward situation. A Wind Ranger ban, then an Anti-Mage pick. That is pretty interesting, actually.
Is this supposed to be a hero to play up against a Naga or a Morphling? Maybe to
Radiant
discourage
team-
first
Like, yeah,
departure from
soft
picking up both of
countering.
those heroes? Yeah. That's what I'm kind of getting from RRQ, because they picked up this anti-mage right away. They knew they wanted the anti-mage, but they were, they were a little bit unsure with that final ban.
Well, outside of like the grand scheme of things, if you just look towards the lanes right now of RRQ, it looks like we're going to have an Anti-Mage Wyvern and Earthshaker tri-lane. And I said before, Winter
10
Wyvern,
seconds
Earthshaker,
remaining.
not incredibly offensive support heroes. If you get a wall off
5
on someone like a
seconds
Clockwork,
remaining.
Anti-Mage's Mana Burn does make it so that with a couple of hits, he'll be able to contribute enough so that that hero may
Reserve
drop.
time.
So they have a pretty solid tri-lane right now. His first departure actually grab a Rubik. Potentially a good partner with this Ancient Apparition, just with 2 range heroes and Chilling Touch. They have a point-click disable for the Anti-Mage, and Rubik, Clockwork do work well kind of together. Also, the upside of stealing Earthshaker Fissure is certainly there, so it's a pretty safe pickup from first departure. Not really going to show anything just yet, but hey, it's a Rubik
5
against Shaker up
seconds
against
remaining.
Anti-Mage. You can't really go wrong. A puck now for RRQ.
Dire team.
Interesting. So they're gonna have their team fight crowd control Puck, and this is a pretty nice hero actually. They have to pair it up with an off lane though. That's gonna have some sort of impact during that mid game while the anti mage is farming, unless RQ wants to fight with their anti mage.
Oh no, no more mid lane Anti-Mage.
No, not mid lane anti mage, but even just a combat anti mage. I don't like it that
10
much. I think it's
seconds
just because we
remaining.
haven't really seen it with much success. Every time you see a combat anti mage,
5 seconds
it falls
remaining.
flat in his face. You say, okay, anti mage is really just a farming hero. He
Mhm.
can't do jack
Reserve
during
time.
the early game.
Well, they're looking for an off-lane hero, it seems, RQ, unless they want to put Puck up there, which is not an impossibility. Going up against just Rubik, Ancient Apparition, AA is not that great versus Puck. In fact, Puck is usually picked up in a little bit of response towards AA, but that's a possibility right now for RRQ. As far as getting another mid-lane hero is concerned, Shadow Fiend is still in the pool. Seems like a pretty reasonable pick if they really do want to go for that. Again, it's into a Clockwork, but they really do need heroes that can fight early on. Oh, first departure, man.
Wow.
This is
Radiant
going back a
team
couple
ban.
months.
This is Clash of the Titans. Literally.
Not
Uh,
yet. He's still in the pool.
Oh. What?
Elder Titan?
10
No.
seconds remaining.
Yes.
We're not on the same page, Mike. Stop.
Clash of the
5
Titans,
seconds
please.
remaining.
Medusa
wasn't
was
talking-
involved in that movie, but there's
I
no
wasn't
equivalent
talking
hero
about-
on the other end. Don't even
Just
try to
stop.
out
Dire
Greek
team.
mythology
I'm
me.
talking about hard carries. Elder Titan is not a carry. I'm gonna stop now, okay? We're
He's
just
a
gonna stop.
Titan.
Radiant team
We're gonna
pick.
stop and we're just gonna say we're on the same page and we're just gonna move on.
Fine, be like
Okay.
that.
We're gonna handshake. Gonna shake on it.
I think that's a concession
So-
for you. I win. Viper and Magnus gonna be banned out. First departure, actually, the Magnus pick would have been mediocre for them for the mid lane, but getting rid of that scaling farm on the Anti-Mage, getting rid of that free Battle Fury is a Viper to be banned out on the RRQ
10
end versus
seconds
first
remaining.
departure. Similarly, both sides, I think, looking for just heroes to fight
5
early on, because
seconds
Medusa doesn't
remaining.
really want to do that. I have seen First Departure get really far ahead with Medusa really early
What?
on, then just snowball into a
Dire
win, but
team pick.
you can't really depend on that happening every single time.
A Broodmother. 5th pick for RRQ. So this is gonna be their space creating hero apparently. And I think the best part is that First Departure has very little to deal with a Broodmother. They've got very little wave clear aside from the Medusa, so this is going to be pretty annoying for First Departure. Can they deal with... Oh my god, no way. No way. Huskar
Clash of the
hype.
Titans.
I love it.
It's not a good pick versus Broodmother. First of all, Incapacitating Bite is a pain in the ass for Huskar, and
So-
to a lesser extent the Medusa. But it's Huskar. Man, Huskar is just so
Could
bad
you-
here.
Could you explain the mindset behind picking a Huskar this game? Because I see nothing that would be a threat to a Huskar at
I mean,
all.
it's not about what is threatening to the Huskar, it's about what he could do to the enemy side. You cannot kill a Puck as a Huskar because Life Break is never gonna land. Same thing with the Anti-Mage, and up against the Broodmother, you may be able to Life Break her, but unless you have
10
your entire
seconds
team behind you,
remaining.
it's not really gonna happen. Even the lane, like, it looks like Miracle's gonna be taking the Huskar, so he
5
might be
seconds
going
remaining.
towards mid, who knows. But that matchup is, I mean, it's, I guess okay for the Huskar, but I don't know. I just feel like he won't really be able to stick onto his targets well enough.
Yeah, unfortunately my
Prepare
client
for
has
battle.
crashed, so you might have to do the introduction solo while I try and get back in, but this game though, it just doesn't seem like a Huskar game. He doesn't fit into the draft. He's got nothing that he's going to be countering. There's nothing that he's going to really fulfill in this game, so we'll see how the Huskar works out, but I have my doubts. Maybe it's supposed to be that early to mid game fighter while they make space for the Medusa, and then he can just kind of piggyback on her in the late game.
Yeah, I mean that
Yeah.
is kind of where one of Huskar's weakest points is. The fact that he does so well in lane, but he very, very quickly falls off unless you just get completely out of control. And then the exact opposite is going to happen for the Medusa. In theory, she does nothing in the early game, and then she really steps up her game in the late stages.
30
They will not have a
seconds
ton
to
of
battle.
AoE. That's really what I was looking for in the last pick from First Departure, just a hero that is able to deal with the Broodmother in some decent way. But you know what? It's Huskar. I'm not going to complain. Again, this is how First Departure make fans, right? This is how they're going to potentially win this game. Not by killing the enemy ancients, but by killing their way into our hearts.
I love the Huskar mask. Every time I see a team playing Huskar with this
Oh,
mask, I
Achin.
can't stop looking at the portrait.
He's in a lot of trouble right now. Orb's going to fly through. He throws the snake. That's not going to help because Two's going to cut him off. That's going to be easy first blood on Medusa, who, well, decided to test whether or not there was a shaker in the area. And there was. So it is going to be First Departure to give up first blood to the RRQ side, as we're now going to load onto our lanes. Let's see who's going to be playing what. We got Boo Boo. Not playing a support this time. That was kind of weird. He's playing the Broodmother. Got Panda on the Anti-Mage. Earthshaker is going to be played by that guy. Retardamon is going to be on the Winter Wyvern, and 2 is on the Puck. Again, this is not on a ticket, guys, so the official names are not enforced here.
Other side of First Departure, I'm going to try and do the best I can for some of these names, but we've got the one and only Miracle playing on the Huskar, which we'll see if this hero works out. It's very fun to watch. Now down towards the bottom lane, we have 4, 5, 6, which is Polison, was it? On the clockwork?
Yeah, that's what I was told.
Yes. That was your told. Okay, so we're going to say this is the Polison. We don't
No,
really know.
Achin is Poloson. I don't know who
Achin
456 is.
So, okay then. So we just have 4, 5, 6 on the clockwork then. So Archin is playing on our Medusa. We've got Lubby playing on the Ancient Apparition. And lastly, I'm missing somebody. It is Punlo playing on our Rubik this time.
Oh, he sees the Broodmother. He has a potential for lift up. They have a Chilling Touch as well, but that will not be enough to get the kill. Yeah, the icon for 456 is familiar, but I don't exactly remember who that is, whose icon that is, so I'm not going to credit someone with credit that they don't deserve. They got to get their official names up, and they didn't, so that's their problem. Clockwork going to be going 1 versus the Anti-Mage. The more hands-off RRQ are in this lane, the better it's going to be for Clockwork, obviously. The Anti-Mage versus Clockwork matchup is actually a pretty interesting one, since both heroes will try to drain each other out of mana first, but then Anti-Mage will be able to consistently drain the mana of Clockwork, whereas for Clockwork, you can only drain mana if you have mana. So it's still a decent lane for Clockwork. He still will be able to actually pressure the Anti-Mage somewhat, a little bit more so than usual perhaps, but still it's not going to be a great lane for him. No farm, probably just CS, and in fact he's going to go for a Rocket Flare build, which wasn't going to help him right now. He has no mana.
Yeah, so laning-wise, who looks like they're doing okay? So we've got Bubu up in this top lane. He's doing relatively okay. He's had no real contest in this top lane, just soaking up EXP. Yes, he's not getting too much CS, but he's still getting enough to justify his existence up here. In the mid lane, we have a Puck and Huskar matchup. So it looks like both of these heroes are doing okay. Puck is actually struggling quite a bit, only 4 CS compared to the 12. So Miracle definitely dominating the mid lane. There should be a rotation from one of the supports at least to help out the Puck, just to get him to equalize in this lane. You do not want a Puck to be this far behind, especially when he's supposed to be your main initiator for those team fights. And it looks like the 2 supports are coming in. We've got our Earthshaker and our Winter Wyvern nearby. I think they're waiting for Miracle to just go for the jump, or just to go for the YOLO play, and hopefully to capitalize on it from there on. But he's just farming away. He's not gonna overextend. Whereas down bottom, looks like free farm for Panda. Nothing the Clockwork can really do.
Well, the supports are not going to go towards the Huskar, which I think the right decision. They're going to try to help Boo Boo, who's already in a lot of trouble. Sentries on the deck. They'll take down the Broodmother very easily with that chilling touch. And it will be the Medusa to somehow sneak in the last right click. Two supports arriving way too late to help out. They can do nothing up here, up against this many heroes. Unless Lubby decides to walk in here. That's a really bad spot for him to be. Might get walled in. Still some spiders are here. He is going to get walled in. And, well, he just wanted boots, which I guess he will purchase in the end. But walking into two heroes, not a good place to be, especially when you're not full HP. I was just going to say that Miracle as a hero to gank from the RRQ side is not attractive at all. Yeah, you want to kill off this Huskar if you can, but if you don't instantly burst him down, then he could turn things around and kill you off. And Shaker, Winter Wyvern are not good at bursting heroes down, especially since it's a Huskar who you have to try to burst down. So the Berserker's Blood is going to keep him alive, going to keep him kicking, and he's going to be kicking harder and faster as time progresses. He is going to grab an Invis Rune, and with nighttime, he's going to sneak around, try to catch someone in the jungle. There's no chance that he kills off this puck unless 2 has a massive stroke, but let's see how much harassment you get on this puck. 2 Searing Arrows, that is, you know, more or less to be expected.
Not much to really say on that, honestly. The Miracle just kind of wasting the invisibility rune, but what can you really do? It's a puck. Retardmon is nearby, so if they need to, they're always going to have the Winter Wyvern there, just with the Arctic Burn, but nothing much. A low-level Winter Wyvern actually doesn't give you that much utility as well as damage, especially during the early game, so that is the disadvantage of running a Winter Wyvern. She does become amazing the more level she gets though, so the hero will get better and better as the game goes, but pre-level 6, the Winter Wyvern isn't that amazing as a support up top though. Looks like we might see some action because we have our Earthshaker sitting in the tree line waiting for the fissure. Will they get a kill on any of the heroes there? They've got quite a few Spiderlings throwing some harassment onto Archon as well as Lubby, but they're going to try and not feed them away, so they're going to pull them back in. Just continue on with the harassment. Laning phase has been pretty
Medusa's
quiet.
Getting quite a bit of farm here, but I really fear for her life right now. She's not super healthy, and a fissure with a giant Spiderling army can destroy Medusa because there's simply not enough AoE to really save her. There's the fissure, there's the Spiderling army. And, well, it'll almost get the kill. Spiderlings, 8 HP, trying to salve up. We'll get a lot of HP back. They lift him up, the Broodmother, and do get the kill. And Achin barely survives. That was a little bit closer than First Departure really would have liked. But even with all that being said, Broodmother is going to fall, and it is going to be the First Departure side to grab the kill with being evenly split with the tower getting the last hit. But still, the Medusa can't really afford to stick up on this top lane up against the Broodmother. This is really where this... these hero choices from First Departure are a little bit suspect. They need AoE to deal with this Brood, and they don't really have it.
Double damage!
Yeah, then the Brood's only going to get bigger and bigger from this point on, so I think the only way I could really see First Departure dealing with Boo Boo is if they just grab Dust and they just go for the Chilling Touch gank and try and just kill the Broodmother outright. That's the only way I really see them dealing with Boo Boo, so that it slows down his levels and farm, and so that he just doesn't feel confident just staying around in lane. That's something that you want to do with the Brood. Keep him out of lane so that he does not become a factor, because the earlier he starts pushing your lane, that means the more pressure you have to put back on that lane, and that you're opening those other lanes for those other heroes. And considering the kind of draft that RRQ is running, any sort of space is necessary to create space for that anti-mage.
Anti-mage is doing really well right now. It's a free farming anti-mage more or less with maybe a little bit of help. He's gonna go straight for the Clockwork, start burning his mana, Splinter Blast, gonna connect with the Arctic Burn. He's slow to a crawl, can't even get his cogs out. Okay, he can get his cogs out, but it's not like it helped him that much. It's a free kill on the Clockwork. Anti-mage now is gonna go straight towards that Ring of Health with the Power Treads already being picked up. Battle Fury should be incoming. And not really that much that he should be scared of. Again, the Huskar cannot effectively kill off an Anti-Mage. Medusa's, yeah, the Mana Shield not good versus the Anti-Mage, although Stone Gaze is amazing. Really won't be able to burst down the Anti-Mage within that duration. Now Achin is going to have to deal with a whole bunch of spiders. A couple are being killed off by the Medusa's Snake, but he lifts up onto Boo Boo with no Ancient Apparition here. They can't get this kill, especially with the coil coming in for the puck. Orbiting through, Achin stuck in a corner, will die. Hanlo trying to slip away. With so many spiders still alive, he should be dying soon as well. He's not going to escape the spider, and he will drop, and that's a 2 kill. The RRQ up on the top lane. This Medusa is not going to get comparable amounts of farm to the Anti-Mage. He's getting both kills and free farm.
So what does First Departure do with not the failure of the top lane, but the fact that their top lane is crumbling? Mid lane's doing very well. Miracle is getting absolute free farm in this mid lane, so he is going to be very scary very soon. He's gone for 3 gauntlets of strength. Is this just for mid lane? Is he going to turn these into something?
I don't think you turn this into anything. I mean, he already is working on his armlet, so clearly he has that in mind for his next item. Huskar typically does have, I mean, he has low-ish base damage to start things off, so having extra base damage to right-click with, to trade hits with, and just to CS with is, you know, really good. This is not really a build that we see on many heroes. And Huskar is really the only one nowadays. Used to be on the Lifestealer as well, but Huskar is going to get his armlet pretty quickly, but I fear that even that won't really be enough simply because the rest of his team is struggling. We have a Clockwork in the area, but there's no one in mid lane. In fact, everyone on RRQ is up towards top.
So RRQ just trying to put as much pressure as they can on in that Broodmother lane so that Boo Boo can actually be, well, a threat. He is slowly getting farmed though. He's sitting on about almost 2k gold. Is this going to be a Necrobook on Boo Boo? Is this going to be a Midas? Is it going to be an Orchid? What are you expecting on this Broodmother?
Well, usually I like the Dagon build the most on Brood, but up against a Huskar and a Medusa, probably not going to be the best. Necrobook actually seemed like a reasonable pickup right now, although we do have Clockwork. He's going to look for a hook shot, which will connect onto Recharge Mod. Miracle is going to dive towards the puck, will fail that one because it's never ever going to land. Still they're onto the Winter Wyvern. The Fissure is going to help them disengage. Ice Ball going to come right in, will not connect. Clockwork still going for the kill with the Searing Spear. They're going to try to go for another dive onto the puck. This one will connect, but it won't do enough. Recharge Mod will get dropped down. Here comes Panda. Mana Void can do quite a bit of damage to Miracle as well as 456, but not lethal damage as the Clockwork does TP out Miracle, just taunting them to come a little bit closer. Searing Spear onto the Anti-Mage, not going to be lethal either. But First Departure get away with a pretty decent fight even after that Fissure, which I thought was just going to completely stop it. Miracle now should have his armlet flying out, and it's completed and at the ready. So First Departure take a pretty decent fight, get a kill on the Winter Wyvern. Though it does take them a very, very long time, and Boo Boo is pushing up on the top lane in the meantime. It's going to be a Hand of Midas pickup for the Broodmother first.
So with this, with the armlet completed on Miracle, does he just become an absolute fighting force? Is there any way that RRQ can deal with Miracle? Do they have to put 100% into him? They're going to go for the jump in and he missed time the phase shift and he's actually going to die to the damage over time. He might be able to survive. No, he won't. There's one more spear and Miracle's going to take him down and he's going to go for armlet toggles and Miracle is absolutely fine. Earthshaker going to have to book it because if he's not careful, he could be the next one to die to that Huskar.
Over in the Dire Jungle, they see the Broodmother right now. They have True Sight, but they're going to miss the hook shot. Boo Boo's going to juke that one out by feigning to the north, going to the south instead. But yeah, a crucial misplay by the puck. I don't even know, should not be dying to the Huskar really ever. Since Life Break is really the only way Huskar gets these kills, he gets in with that and he's also doing, applying the slow effect, and that's really what's relevant. If he's alone, then the puck should not be dying, but yeah, making a little bit of a blunder, and everyone else on the RRQ side, they don't have the phase shift, they don't have the orb out, so they will simply just die to Miracle. However, Miracle is very low at the moment. There is a coil and a fissure. The stun duration with the right clicks may be enough to get this kill. Oh no, Miracle's going to fall back.
Miracle just going to play safe at this point. He actually has no vision, I think, on anyone else. They know the Anti-Mage is there, and they know where the Broodmother is, but where are the two supports? The two supports are just kind of all over the place at this point. They're just going to go for pulls. Broodmother getting a kill onto Clockwork, so good stuff there for Boo Boo, but it looks like he might be hunted down by Archon. Just going to throw the Serpents and just get some farm, but that's pretty much about it, so it's looking pretty good for RRQ at this point. Yes, they are getting a little bit behind because of the Huskar, but the moment they can deal with Miracle, and the moment that the Medusa's still not big enough to actually become a problem herself, that's where RRQ has to capitalize on the fact that they have an advantage. So, can they deal with Miracle? Because I think Miracle is just that brick wall at the moment.
This is pretty much the same exact situation that we saw in the last game, right? Like where Miracle was the only one getting farm. He's now going to dive a tier 1 tower, looking for the life break, going to go towards Recharge Mon, gets the curse off onto Huskar, but he's taking no damage even with the tower. Recharge Mon's going to burn. They have an Earthshaker TPing in, plus the coil deployed. Needs to arm the toggle well here, Miracle, but he fails completely, mistiming it as he maybe didn't see the puck's projectile in air. That's going to kill off the Huskar, trading 1-for-1 with the Winter Wyvern, and it is RRQ to take a pretty good trade. The rest of First Departure, as a whole, they're all just struggling, so they need Miracle to get kills and survive. He's pretty much the only one on First Departure who could actually make these plays.
I'm actually surprised that they haven't brought the
Dire's
Clockwork
bottom
and the
tower
Huskar
is under
together to a
attack.
team fight. Those two heroes together synergize very well. You have the hookshot there as your main initiation tool, you have the power cogs, then your Huskar can just go for the secondary jump and just finish off the primary target. Are they trying to save something for the Clockwork? Is he
Dire's
just
bottom
kind of roaming
tower is
around
under
going for
attack.
different targets? He's got the hookshot available and he wants to throw it, but he cancels it the first time. Will he find his target though? He sees the brood spiders and I think
Dire's
he's going to
bottom
back up.
tower
Just going to
is
save the
under
hookshot
attack.
for another day.
He really just wants to kill off this broodmother to try to alleviate some pressure on this top lane because he can't go for the puck really well. Like, the puck will just phase shift, orb out. He can't go for the anti-mage really well because the anti-mage will just blink out. So at that point, your options are kind of limited, but now he's going to get aggressive upon with the giant spiderling army. Ponlo's here for the lift up, which will buy 456 some time. Fissure actually stolen. It's level 3 skill. It's a big pickup for Ponlo. And it will be the survival of the Clockwork, but he's not actually doing that much while he is surviving. The Fissure, though, that's the end result, and Fissure is always good to have on Rubik. Much better when there's Broodmother on the other end. Panda down towards bottom lane, going to be chasing down Lubby. That's not going to result into that much to circle around the tower, and it's going to be Miracle to return to the mid lane. Everyone, in fact, going to just go right back into their lanes, as
Dire's
Panda
bottom
does in the
tower
end take down
has
this tier
fallen.
1.
So that's one objective taken down for RRQ, but they've got quite a few more to go before they can actually get anything done really with Panda. But it's an anti-mage, he's doing what he can. He's almost got his Battle Fury. Actually, does he have it already? It must be on the courier. Yeah, he has everything.
Yes.
Yeah, Battle Fury done. 15 minutes, so good timing for Panda. He is going to be pretty scary at about 21 minutes. Should have
Well,
the Manta
he's
Star by
scary now.
21, 23.
He's hitting pretty hard at this stage. Not,
Still
you know,
squishy though.
Yeah, he is, but there's not a ton of CC on first departure. They have a lot of physical damage with this anti-mage, and Huskar is pretty resistant to magic. He has the armlet, which makes him, you know, kind of tanky to physical, but not really at the point really where they really want him to be. And Medusa is completely irrelevant in this game so far, and will continue to be irrelevant for the next, what, 10, 15, 20 minutes? The anti-mage is just so much more dangerous, I think, than most of the given first departure heroes, with the exception being Huskar, but anyone else, they have to fear the anti-mage at this stage.
I think the Medusa would be alright. The Medusa always has the Stone Gaze, and that might be enough time to bring a TP in. So Archon should be okay, even if he is isolated with the anti-mage. It should be okay. But while the farming is happening, there's really not that much going on, honestly. Everyone's just farming away. Miracle is still farming, interestingly enough. He's got a helm with the Dominator now. Is he trying to save up for a Satanic first, and then maybe he's going to go on the aggressive? Because he's been pretty passive so far on the Huskar. He's only had a couple of jumps, but that's about it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Satanic's really what he wants to be going for in this game. It is a pretty good item, but Helm of the Dominator for just a little bit of lifesteal seems like that should be good enough for the Huskar at this point. He really needs to, as you said, just turn up the aggression, try to get some kills, applies pressure to the Broodmother, who's once again going towards this Clockwork with a pretty deep dive in. There's a Fissure waiting. That's out of range. The Cog bump back will knock Boo Boo out of range. The TP will be cancelled up towards this top lane. So the Clockwork is holding this lane, kind of. Has a Hand of Midas working for him as well. But yeah, eventually the Broodmother is going to find an opening with the help of a Shaker or without to either take this Clockwork down and or take this tower down. And it seems like there's a really high chance it's going to be both. Miracle is actually going to dominate the Ogre, get that ice armor up, and then go for that Roshan. Getting bashed quite a few times, but it doesn't seem like RRQ are keen to this, but it doesn't really matter because they're getting killed on Clockwork in the top lane. Broodmother's army is going to claim that one for Boo Boo. And still there's no response into this Roshan pit. It's not super quick coming out from Miracle, but it will be fast enough since, well, RRQ are kind of sleeping on it. Soon enough, this Roshan will die. Lots of burning spear charges on that guy. The Puck does have his blink dagger, and really, like, it's up to first party to make the first play. For RRQ, they have all the time in the world. Panda's free farming, and yeah, this is a good matchup versus the Medusa. Perhaps first Departure can get enough on this Medusa, just take one critical death, to get critical mass and then just death ball in. I don't really know if that's going to happen, though.
I don't think it's going to happen fast enough, because by the time that happens, you have the anti-mage pushing into your T3. So if First Departure wants to go for the Death Ball, they're going to have to be very big, and they also have to push fast enough before the anti-mage can reach anywhere near their base. Because any loss that you take while you're Death Balling is much bigger than it would have been if you left someone behind to defend it.
And I just can't help but thinking this Huskar pick could have been so much better if it was something else. If they had any sort of AoE to deal with this Broodmother, they should probably have thought about shuffling their lanes, or shuffling their lanes in the draft. But Huskar is going to take down Tier 1 tower. Pretty easy considering the fact that there's no one there. And still with the Aegis, he can move forward and try to force someone on the defensive here. There is a Rubik in the area. He has level 2 lift, very close to his Blink Dagger. Once he has that, it's not going to be impossible to see a Huskar Rubik combo kill off an Anti-Mage. It'll be difficult, granted, but as long as it's possible, they will be threatening the AM's life. And Miracle is still not drawing any attention to this bottom lane, so he's more than okay with just sitting here by himself, killing off the towers, since, well, first departure, they might lose Lubby up towards the top lane. Boob is going to swarm him with the spiders, grab a dominating spree, and the flare is going to come in, but it's way too late. Rotation now going to come in as 4 heroes are going to converge. Ponlo's so close to his Blink Dagger, he really can't afford to die right now. He will maybe stick around with Miracle, although Puck seems to know where Ponlo is. They see Miracle for sure. He's going to turn around and try to go for Panda as Puck does find Ponlo in the corner. Miracle's going to fight to the death. He has his Aegis, but Ponlo looking for a steal. It's going to be cursed. He's going to apply it to Panda. That's a stun, and that'll kill out the Anti-Mage. Now lift up on the Puck. Ponlo probably going to die right now, though. He's going to buy the Blink Dagger first. It's still the Huskar to keep on fighting. 456 riding. They'll go right towards Retard Bond. The spears, it'll start burning soon enough, and they will take down the Winter Wyvern as well. Up towards top, Boo Boo, gonna get right out of range of that Ice Blast. Now gonna turn around for Lubby, still with his ultimate up. He'll take down the Ancient Apparition, giving himself a double kill. But Miracle survives in this bottom lane, doesn't even lose his Aegis, and they get the Blink Dagger on Rubik. I think that fight, that exchange, is actually okay for FD.
You think it's okay?
I mean, Miracle gets a Heaven's Halberd. Now he can actually tango with the Broodmother really well. And they take a tower in advantage. Seems fine.
I guess so. I feel like it's still a little bit questionable, but to each their own.
I mean, it's not a stellar trade for them, but considering they were 2v4 on the bottom lane, they get away with 1 casualty, and they get a whole bunch on this Huskar. That's pretty good.
But remember though, this is a Huskar that's going to fall off eventually, so any item decisions made by Miracle now, it's so important. It has to be an item that's going to stay relevant while he is relevant, and also at least to give him some sort of utility when the game goes late. Hook shot's going to be going in, they're going to go right onto 2. He will phase shift out and also pop out through the orb, so he's fine, but they will lose a Clockwork in the process, so first departure. Oh god. So we got 2 heroes down so far, the Clockwork as well as the Puck, and we have Miracle not going to pursue after Retardmon, but you're in the enemy base, he's still going to farm up the creep wave, and he's going to start chewing on the enemy tower. But in the meantime, we lose our Medusa in the top lane. That was with the Earthshaker as well as our Spider there, and it looks like Bubu was able to take out the Rubik himself, and they're also going to be able to get an Ancient Apparition as well. Bubu actually has been hit by the Ice Blast. Unfortunately, he will shatter as well. That was a monster kill streak going in the way of our Ancient Apparition too, by the way, but Miracle, he's still in the mid lane, and look at what he's doing to that tower.
The Retardmon Winter Wyvern's doing everything that the Winter Wyvern can possibly do up against the Huskar. Unfortunately for him, that's not that much. Up towards top, they are going to catch the Earthshaker. 11 HP, going to survive. 4 staff forward, just looking for 1 battery assault tick to land. Or a flare in 3 seconds. Earthshaker has no blink, so he's not going to survive this one, or at least he shouldn't. He'll get dropped, but now Miracle, he's going to face up against the Anti-Mage, still has that Heaven's Halberd available, still has the Aegis. No one's actually dealing with him, and he will take down Raxus. Are you kidding me? Miracle now going to go towards Panda, gets a stomp from a Centaur. Panda's going to die. Curse way too late, and Miracle still has the Aegis, even if he were to go down. Going to jump towards the Puck. That will fail, but still, he's a one-man wrecking crew, and no one's actually answering this Huskar. He's going to go right now towards the Winter Wyvern. He will burn. Are you kidding me? They just completely ignored this Huskar, and he just walked in and took Raxus.
And he was killing heroes in the process as well. That is absolutely insane.
Radiant's middle barracks
has Miracle been
Centaur
practicing his
micro?
Huskar? Centaur micro too. Well, he plays Nagasar, and you've got to expect that level of micro from him.
Fair enough, fair enough. And now he has, or he had 4,700 gold. That's a completed Assault Cuirass for Miracle. So super resistant to the magic once he drops low, super resistant to the physical all the time. And, well, it's 22 minutes in, and Raxus, I really thought that it was going to be RRQ to take first Raxus, but now Rubik finds the Shaker, is going to steal, well, Enchant Totem. That kind of sucks, but here comes Miracle. He sees a Shaker. Just a couple of hits are all he needs, and that's going to be the death of the Shaker. Looking for puck now, perhaps? No, there's not enough to actually get close, but they could slide down to the bottom lane because that tier 2 has been taken, and they could look to push in. It seems like this is just going to be Huskar winning the game. Like, it almost seems irrelevant for First Departure to have a Medusa in this. It's like she's just a liability at this point. Or maybe she has Stone Gaze to help out the Huskar, perhaps, but they're just going to go in. Like, they're looking to end the game right now, 20 minutes in. This is what happens, guys, when you ignore any given hero, especially when that given hero is Huskar. He makes you pay. Anti-Mage, he has Battle Fury, he has Vlad's, it's Yasha, it's nice. But he has no way of dispelling this disarm, so he can't go for Miracle, and Rax's, they're dropping. There's no Blink Dagger on Shaker, so he can't really do anything here either. Achin gonna lose his Lincoln Sphere effect, but they have to go, like, now. Miracle taking down the range and the melee both. They're going to jump to the backline. Coil only onto the Clockwork, however, gets the cogs out regardless. Achin has the Stone Gaze, not even going to use it just yet. Now Boo Boo going to try to go for the Medusa. There's the Stone Gaze, hookshot as well. Boo Boo going to get turned to stone. They don't have detection. That's kind of awkward, but they will fall back with the Clock, or at least try to. Puck on his tail will get the kill there. So far, 2 for 2. Miracle, though, still at full HP with Achin at the same exact status, and Broodmother on her way out is going to retreat safely. But the cost of the bottom lane of Rax's, did First Departure just win? Is that what just happened?
I think they did. RRQ can't deal with Miracle at all. Under no circumstance they have anything to deal with this Huskar. They don't have any physical damage to kill him. The anti-mage is not big enough to actually be a viable hero to deal with the Huskar. They have a Broodmother who is supposed to be pushing up top, but Boo Boo's in the mid lane. If you can force back the Broodmother to defend, that's probably the best thing you could ask for with the Brood. If the Brood was still up there, then there would have still been a bit of split push for RRQ, but that's not happening. They're just so afraid of this single hero, this Huskar. And as you were mentioning before about the Medusa being a liability, she's an insurance. She is farming for the late game so that when the Huskar falls off, then the Medusa becomes the Huskar. They're going to try and kill the Medusa though, but the Winter Curse can be thrown onto Achin, but where's the follow-up though? Medusa is still very healthy. Actually, Stone Gaze available in 5 seconds. Can Achin survive long enough and with enough mana? Echo Slam to keep him in place for a little bit longer. Achin has no mana. He's still got the mana shield up, and it looks like that is going to be the end of the Medusa, but here comes Huskar. And Miracle going to go right into that hero. That's going to be the end of our Earthshaker, and looks like he's going to chase after Boo Boo on this Spider. He has actually got no detection, but in the meantime, in the backlines, they've got 2 being chased up by a Clockwork, and what can you really do as a puck? Just going to pop the Yules onto Miracle to keep him in place, and it looks like that's going to be pretty much the best that RRQ can do to patch up the wound, but it looks like 2 is going to be able to get into the tree line. Is there any way to cancel TP? No, there is not, because the cogs didn't push him out. How did that even work?
This is a weird day of Dota, guys. Weird mechanics. That was like right on top of the puck. It should have, maybe it caught him in and I just didn't see it. I don't know. There's a lot of trees here and whatever. Either way, Miracle for the first time in this game is actually rotated out of the mid lane. Just gonna, you know, I was just about to say, like, I love the fact how Huskar before this was just like moving down the mid lane. Now they're gonna catch Boo Boo, lifts it up. He's dusted as well. Boo Boo's gonna turn and try to fight. There's a Heaven's Halberd available. Miracle doesn't even need it. They kill off the Broodmother. They kill off the vast majority of her army as well. Are they really double buying items? They're just messing this one up, right? Unless there's... Oh, there actually is another Heaven's Halberd on Miracle. He didn't use the first one, but hey, the second one does provide you with just as much benefits. You don't get any more maim chance. You don't get additional disarm, but you get a lot of damage. You get a lot of strength. And you get diminishingly stacking evasion. This Huskar is, like, almost immune to physical right clicks at this point.
Well, you do realize the biggest weakness of Huskar is right clicking him. If you can negate all of that, what can you do to the Huskar? Oh my god.
25, it's like 60-ish% chance to miss. Now he's gonna jump forward for the Earthshaker. He just wants his Blink Dagger, just wants to lay down a fissure, but he gets annihilated. He has, what, 74% physical damage reduction, and any hit that is going to connect that's only on hits that are going to connect. They're going to jump right into the middle of everything. Retardmon going to Glimmer himself, but gets turned to stone, so he's not moving anywhere. Now he's thinking about turning himself to ice, but doesn't have enough mana. He'll drop the curse on the pawn low. It's the Miracle Show. He just, yeah, like, what happened in this game? Panda was getting so much farm, still has a lot of farm. Broodmother was rocking the top lane, but while bot lane and top lane were doing well, no one was mid lane.
No one was mid lane, so should we say that was a bit of a disaster for RRQ, that they did okay in the
Yes.
other lanes, and all of a sudden it was just the miracle show? That's what
I think we
happened.
could
The miracle
definitely
show.
call that a disaster. Maybe an oversight is the more polite way of putting that, but like, look at this gold per minute on the Anti-Mage. Look at it on the Broodmother. Their scores, I mean, the Anti-Mage's score at least, is not spectacular, but it's good enough right now for a stage where he's just farming and he's just going to be, doing what he can. But Huskar, you got to answer him eventually. I think we both thought that he wasn't going to get this big, but he did.
I thought he wasn't going to get anywhere near that big. I
Mhm.
thought he was just going to be maybe that 20-minute hero, and then after that he would just start falling off. But no, you just kept going and going and going, and you thought, when is this train going to end?
I want to get
Oh
off
my
of
God.
Miracle's Wild
Gotta get
Ride.
off this.
I want to get off of Miracle's Wild Ride.
That's actually what it felt like, honestly. It was like a runaway train, and you just didn't know when it was going to end. Oh my God.
Alright guys, well, it's going to be first departure to win, and in crazy fashion at that. That's going to mark the end of today's games from the NXTGame Invitational. We do have another match tomorrow. Don't know who's going to be playing that, but it should be at the same time, about 13 CEST. I think it's, I have no idea what time it is local there, but it's about the same time as this the last match started. And it's going to be between, who is it going to be? It's going to be MSI versus Apes. That one should be pretty interesting. We also have a giveaway right now, so I will open that up in just a bit, and we could do that. Yes, reset the raffle. Okay, it's now open, so exclamation raffle will enter you into the giveaway, and well, we'll get to that screen in just a little bit, guys. But for right now, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, follow us on HeflaTV, at HeflaTV. Follow us the stream right here, at Mikelorus, at Danelie Casts. All the Twitter handles are all over the screen, and you can follow us there. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in just a little bit for the raffle drawings.